Welcome back to another episode of Cop Stories. I know it's been a minute. Look, I've been very busy doing some other things in film. Back in January, some of you all may have saw the Netflix special that I appeared in by Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Stanley Nelson. It's called Crack, Cocaine, Corruption, Conspiracy. It's a real good piece. I was honored to be involved in it. Rick Ross is in it. Quite sure you all familiar with him, the real Rick Ross. It was just a real good piece. And then after that, I was tied up with recently with NBC Dateline with Dennis Murphy. He's a 4-time Emmy Award winner journalist. That was a hell of an experience just to be sitting there with him while just being filmed, and that whole process was just amazing. Then after that, the A&E Network, they contacted me, talked to them about some stories, sent them some information, they got back with me. Then they filmed one of my cases. I don't want to mention which case it is. When everything airs, as far as Dateline, A&E, I'm most definitely posting information on social media so you all can see it in advance. But it was just an honor and just a great deal of respect to be with them for 3 days, and it was just an amazing opportunity, and I most definitely thank God for that. But now I'm back with another episode of Cop Stories. Try to get this thing rolling, about to be very busy. Filming the Antoine Jones story, Pro Se Litigator, in August. But we're gonna get some stories out anyway doing Cop Stories. So let's get on to the next one. Hey, let's go, man. You ready? You ready? Come on now. You all guys, y'all ready or what? Come on, film crew. I'm sitting there faking because I'm the only one in this room. I set up everything myself. Let's do this. Cop Stories, next episode. Here you go. This episode of Cop Stories may be familiar with some of you, but I'm quite sure there are a great deal of you who are not aware of the significance of this particular case. Years ago, DC always handled the parole for DC prisoners. I don't know if it was DC Parole Board, I don't know what the agency was called, but they handled DC prisoners under the DC government guidance, and that's just how it was. But because of this case, the federal government took over. Did you hear me? The federal government took over parole from DC, and then now, today, and from that particular case moving forward and probably in the future, parole is handled by the federal government. And it's a landmark case, so I'm getting into some of the details to show how that occurred for those who are not familiar with it. Okay, let's go back. December the 16th, 1995, I received an assignment for a victim who was stabbed multiple times at a bank located in the 500 block of Florida Avenue Northwest. The bank is no longer there. It's New Union Station, New DC, gentrified that particular area, so that bank do not exist anymore. We get there, there's blood everywhere. The victim is taken to the hospital. Victim is Bettina Pruckmeier. I'm saying her last name wrong. Family, please forgive me. Get information from the hospital that she's stabbed all over, man. Just unbelievable. End up going to the autopsy, find out she stabbed 38 times. Do you hear me? 38. Not one, not two, not three. 38. So let's go into the investigation. Of course, like I mentioned, there's a bank camera there. So this particular suspect is at the bank ATM machine using her card. Of course, the bank gives the video footage to us, and here it is. He's there. He's wearing a hood, and he's wearing a partial part of a mask that covered the lower part of his face like this. All I can see is the nose, the eyes, the eyebrows, and everything. So back then we didn't have all this technology, face recognition, where you put something in the system like you see on TV and CISC or whatever it is, Miami, however them shows are. But this is real life. We 9 to 5, that did not occur. If it occurred today, I have no idea. I've been retired for almost 6 years now, so don't get me the line. But in 1995, we didn't have any of that kind of stuff. A lot of the technology was what we had up here and what we could see and what we could feel. Of course, we had DNA testing and everything, but it's not as sophisticated as it is today. So that's all I had. All I had was the suspect on camera, see his eyes, see his nose, nothing. Victim, Patina, stabbed 38 times, young lawyer. Oh wow, it was just crazy. So I get into this investigation. Witnesses on the scene sees her Mustang pull up into the bank on Florida Avenue. And one witness see a struggle going on inside the car. The witness can hear the suspect asking for money. And Patina's yelling, no, 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 no. Struggles inside, then it goes to the outside of the car. Patina's down on the ground. Another witness constantly see him think he's punching. From the distance, the witnesses observing this think he's punching, but as we know, because 38 stab wounds, it's a stabbing going on. So it constantly going on and going on. Why these witnesses did not intervene, that's something I cannot answer, but they did not. I only really believe they thought a stabbing was going on, but still, there's a beating, a man beating a woman. Well, you know, each to his own. So we get all that information. Still, there's no way we can identify a suspect. All they do is give a description of the person who they saw. We won't have anything. And we find out through investigation that, of course, Patina car is used in another location, Logan Circle area, the Logan Circle area, DC, which she's withdrawn $20. And what happens is he picks her up from there. I'm sorry, let me go back. He kidnaps her from there at Knife Point, okay? Makes her drive across Florida Avenue to another bank, which is 500 block of Florida Avenue. So he's on a mission. He's trying to get money from her, making her go to a machine to withdraw money. It's not occurring. That's why all this occurred, and this makes him freak out, and he goes into just a rage, and he stabs her 38 times. And at this particular point, we have no suspects, we have nothing. Get a phone call in the office one day, and this is December the 16th. So now we're only talking 9 days before he's arrested. We get a phone call in the office that the suspect is Leo Gonzalez Wright. So we're like, whoa, great. Goes to our system, boom, boom, boom. We have enough technology back then to pull his information up. I take his photograph, I sit it beside the bank photograph. Like I say, no technology, ain't like I can put the pictures together and say, yeah, that's him, no computer. I'm using old school. I'm looking at his eyes, I'm looking at his nose, looking at his face structure, looking at his eyebrows, looking at everything. God damn it, that's him. That's my technology, that's him. So we end up getting some information where he's staying at. We find out that he's on parole for murder. He committed, he was a teenager, he's done some time, got out on parole. Wow. Now dealing with the parole officer, before I go into more investigation, the parole officer, this guy did not do his job. Leo done failed drug tests. He's been indicted on another drug charge. He's out committing robberies. He's not going to see his parole officer, no visits, nothing. So common sense will make you think that the parole officer is going to revoke him and send him back to prison because he's not following the rules of his parole. Those who are familiar with how that works. That does not occur. Why? I do not know. So as time moves on, we get enough information to get a search warrant, but we find out where Leo was staying at. During the execution of the search warrant, there's so many things in there from other cases: identification cards, credit cards, property, total purses, things women will have. So he's out here robbing women during this time period, and we trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Find out he's addicted to cocaine, he's addicted to heroin, so he's out trying to get money to support his habit. Very violent past, check with his history in Lawton. He committed so many violations down Lawton, it was unbelievable. And you know, with what he was doing out here, that parole officer should have revoked him and sent him back. That caused a lot of people to get robbed, including a carjacking that occurred in Georgetown. We also investigated that just before Patina's case. And most definitely, if the parole officer would have done his job, Bettina would have been alive today. Young 25-year-old lawyer. Wow, that crushed the family. So we ended up getting enough information, and also even doing that search warrant, we found some of Bettina's property inside that place also, okay? Taken from her robbery and murder. We get an arrest warrant, we charge him, we look for him, can't find him. Here it is, Christmas Day, get a phone call, he's picked up. And this is Christmas, I got a 2-year-old son at the time, a 4-year-old son. I'm at home chilling with them, they're young, they're babies, about to eat dinner. I gotta go, I have to leave, I'm sorry, I gotta roll. So I pack my dinner, I go to the office. I get into the office, Leo's in there nodding. He's evidently it's probably heroin. He can't stay up. He's nodding out. I'm like, oh Lord, I gotta get a confession from this dude. I'm like, quick, do you understand your rights? Do you understand this? You need a lawyer. Well, I went through the whole process. He's like, look, man, you know my history. You know I've been locked up. You know, understand how this procedure works. No, I do not want a lawyer. Just, you know, it is what it is. I'll tell you whatever it is you want to know. So then I have to act quickly. So I went through the process, advising him of his rights. He waived his rights. I'm like, shit, I'm sitting there trying to talk to him about the case. He's trying to explain things to me. He's constantly nodding out. So I say, oh shit. So I go get my food, my plate of food. I'm starving, but what the hell? I give it to him. He'll do, eat this, get him some water. It's helping him. He's staying up with me. He's talking. He told me that, you know, he got out, he was still addicted, and, you know, he was on it real bad, and he needed money. He did a carjacking in Georgetown where he robbed somebody. He said he was just taking women purses. He was just doing all kinds of things with ATM machines. And in the case with Bettina, he saw her over by Logan Circle at the ATM machine. He forced her inside the car, her car at knife point, made her drive over to Florida Avenue, where he first asked her for money, asked her for a PIN number, asked her for her car. I mean, he went through the whole process. She bucking, and that's why he said he did it, because she bucked. His reason for what he did was because she bucked. That's the way he described it. And then we get into a tussle inside the car where he's stabbing her. He moved outside the car, he continued to stab her, He take her card, he already got her PIN number from her, so he goes to the machine trying to withdraw money, but there's no money there. And it's heartbreaking that all of this went down. And he explained the whole story. Then he just started nodding out. Then he just went completely out. Dude was unconscious in my office, just sitting up in the chair like this. I was able to get the confession from him, which later was used in court. He ended up pleading guilty to the case. But what happened was, of course, the family's in an uproar at this whole process, this whole procedure. Do your research on it, okay? Leo Gonzalez, right? Bettina Procmayer, do research on the case. What happened is the family filed a civil suit against the DC government. And they won the civil suit because the judge just saw that it was just so many things that DC parole did wrong. So many things they did not do to stop these cases from occurring, as well as Bettina's murder, okay? So they ended up suing and they won. And they didn't want any money from the government. All they wanted was parole to change in DC. They wanted cases to change. They wanted the process, to proceed, everything just to change, because they did not want this to happen to someone else's loved one. And that's what happened. Things were ruled that the federal government was going to now take over parole. And some of you all remember this. I'm quite sure you do, but this is the case why that occurred, on the federal government taking over parole from DC. So it went from DC government employees to federal employees. And that's what happened, and this whole situation was sad. Most definitely could have been avoided if the parole officer had just done his job. He didn't have to do anything special, just do his damn job. Total negligence. And that occurs in a lot of situations, just total negligence. That most definitely would have saved a lot of victims, robbery victims, and most definitely would have saved Bettina Procmayer's life on that particular day, on December 16th, 1995. Thank you all for another episode of Cop Stories. I'll continue on. Like I say, I'm in the process of trying to get other detectives to be involved, so this channel can be more entertaining, not just about me, not just about my stories. Oh man. I'm out of this camp. Peace.